Punk Revolution now! Hey everybody, today we are going to be reviewing Tomb Mold's third album, Planetary Clairvoyance. Ooh, Tomb Mold, what a freaking fantastic band name. If you've never heard of them, now you have. You're gonna remember them because they have a freaking dope band name. Tomb Mold, if you haven't heard of them, they're one of the bigger names in contemporary death metal. This is their third album, and what you're gonna get in this album is honestly just some freaking top shelf, fantastic death metal. I have a lot of good stuff to say about this album, but before I get into that, let's take a look at the freaking album cover. There you have it, a freaking fantastic metal album cover. You know how metal album covers are, they're weird and wacky and fun and crazy and stupid. This album cover is no exception. I love it. Kind of like reminds me of like a cartoon or like a comic book or something. I don't really know. Anyways, good album cover, good album. So what's going on here musically? So musically, what I like about this album is I would say this is a very intelligent death metal album. And when I say intelligent, I'm not talking about like being like avant-garde or gimmicky or, you know, weird time signatures. They don't need to do anything about, you know, in that regard to show how intelligent they are. I would actually just say this album is actually very non-gimmicky and very straight up freaking death metal. There's no gimmicks in it. What makes it so intelligent is actually the way they're able to demonstrate that. I think what they've really done in this album is they've listened to the greats of death metal. They've listened to Dismember, they've listened to Suffocation, they've listened to Bolt Thrower. They've taken these, you know, these awesome death metal classics that you've, you know, from like the 90s and early 2000s, and they fucking modernized it. This album, you know, with the combination of the influences that they've taken here, it's modernized with freaking fantastic production. The production here is fantastic, mixed and mastered by, shout out to my guy Arthur Rizek. I have to give him a shout out because I know him personally because he mixed my band's EP, Anonymized Internal Criminals. Anyways, sorry, I just have to throw that in because, you know, it's freaking Arthur freaking Rizek. Anyways, so yeah, fantastic production. This album is simultaneously like kind of like a wall of sound kind of thing going on, but there's also some like interesting, fantastic riffs that are kind of like bouncing around here and there as well. It's really cool. This album is simultaneously brutal, but it's also simultaneously technical. But I wouldn't necessarily call it technical death metal or brutal death metal. It kind of just is freaking death metal that really knows how to just take all these influences together. So it has all these different like kind of elements going together, but it really comes together in one very cohesive sound. I wouldn't say this album bounces around a ton of sounds throughout the album. No, quite the contrary. I would say it has one cohesive sound throughout the entire album, but without getting monotonous because it is a fantastic sound. And like, I guess, like, it's just subtle. This album is very, I mean, first off, the textures within this album is immediately, very bluntly, immediately very enjoyable, which is, I think, due a lot to the fantastic songwriting, musicianship, talent within these musicians, and, of course, the production. But there's also a lot of subtle, brilliant moments, like the way, like, in the midst of them being super fucking in your face with, like, this loud, brutal death metal, then, like a kind of like a guitar solo will, like, slip in there, and it'll be a freaking fantastic guitar solo that just like fits so perfectly in the mix. Again, fantastic fucking production, and again, fantastic songwriting, and I mean, of course, fantastic guitar playing. Obviously, if you have a fucking fantastic guitar playing, then obviously that obviously means a freaking, sorry, my girlfriend just got home. I gotta walk into the room so she doesn't see me doing this, or else she'll find my YouTube channel and show it my parents, and I will get fired. Anyways, so pretty freaking fantastic album. Brilliant, great, one of the best metal albums I've heard all year, for sure, without a doubt. I mean, just freaking fantastic, taking just fantastic elements of death metal, my favorite elements of death metal, and bringing it together very, 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 very fantastically. I'm giving this an 8.9 out of 10. I cannot wait to listen to it more. For sure, one of my favorite metal albums of the year. So, what do you guys think? Go give it a listen. If you love death metal, definitely go check this out. You don't want to miss it. I think it's freaking fantastic. And I just want to say real quick, thanks again to all my subscribers, likers, commenters. You guys know who you are. We are going to have a freaking punk revolution. We are this close. I can feel it. So thanks so much for watching. Punk Revolution now!